Good morning, friends. I've got lots of fun things for us to work on this morning. My right arm is definitely feeling better. I have still some residual pain, discomfort. It kind of aches, but the doctor has an MRI scheduled or going to be scheduled here shortly. And as soon as I get that squared away, then we'll have an idea of what direction we're going to go. So I'm sorry I had to miss a week of fun crafting time with you, or a week and a half, but the pain was off the charts and I couldn't do hardly anything. So including do more than pull up pajama bottoms. So anyway, very patient husband that helped me along. I have had rotator cuff problems before, but nothing this bad. So that was a shocker for me. Okay, so we've got the lovely lavender that we're going to work on this morning. I'm going to show you a little bit about what we're going to be doing in my next class, which will be using excellent eggs. It's so cute, that little bunny. And I want to show you some of the cards the rest of the cards that I got for the Stamp and Share for Leaders. Super beautiful projects. Just love having all this to show you. So let's get to it. All right. So I didn't have the time to take all the cards out of their little plastic. So we'll kind of go through this. So one of the first ones here is Everyday Details Bundle. It's really pretty, but I was really interested in the dies. So I am going to be getting these dies because I just think that the label ability, there is no dies in this bundle that are for the stamp sets. They're all labels. And as you can see from this really beautiful card, that the little polka dotted are dies. So they pop this up, little bit of embellishments. It's so pretty. And then a little Week of Stella after they colored the flowers. Just a really gorgeous card. And then this one is using the dies from Everyday Details, but it's using the Blueberry Bunches stamp set. And if you take a look at it here, hopefully you can see the stamping that is done in the background of the berries on this blueberry bushel cardstock. So just really pretty. Anyway, let's move these plastic out of the way. I'll take pictures of them and get them so they're uploaded. So this is the Lighter Than Air Sweet Collection, and I've got a couple of cards from this. We're going to use this designer series paper with the excellent eggs. I was hoping I'd get a sample from that, but oh well. I took some great pictures because there were some people that displayed some things. So this is just a really beautiful card. I love it. And, you know, they use the same sentiment, the two card samples, but completely different. This one was made by Dawn Michaels. This one was made by Sandy McManus. So really beautiful. And I love how it just kind of goes together with the card, with the clouds kind of holding it in place. So super sweet. Let me get this up so you can see it. All right. And then we've got Filled with Happiness, which coordinates with the Modern Oval Punch. And this one was made by Betty Weisbrook. I think that's how you say it, or Weisbridge. Really beautiful. She used an oval die or a circular die and then the oval punch. So really pretty combo. I love the colors. And then I've got part of this suite, but this is really beautiful. Let me get this open. So this one was made by Carol Nordquist. And this is the Nature's Sweetness Sweet collection, and it has two bundles in it. So this one looks like it's made from the Lovely and Sweet bundle. I don't have this one, but the paper, isn't that beautiful? Just really beautiful foil. And then they did the gold embossing. It says, "So sorry." And then this one is using the, I think it's called Happy Hexagon Punch or something of that nature. It's the Hexagon Punch. They did a great job of just, most of these are the designer series paper, but some of these are stamped. So really clever how she did this. And then she did like a couple little tabs under there, really clever as well. This is made by Mary Alice Bellis. So really beautiful card. It's more of that beautiful designer series paper. So, and then this one is more of the Notes of Nature bundle. This is the one I have. Sorry, I just lost a card. So this is Beth Tetzleff. Beautiful card. Okay. The next one we have here is the Doggone Friendly, and this one I believe is actually free with a $50 purchase. So when Celebration, it goes through January, February, and when Celebration gets to February and they've run out of things in January, that's why it's always good to get in while it's hot, because if you don't, you'll miss out. But they are making this stamp available, and this clever, where she just kind of stamped it, cut it apart, and then just highlighted the leashes and the little scarves around it. It says, "Sorry for your loss. A friendship of a pet is one of life's greatest gifts." And this was made by Tree Westerman. So really, really sweet. I love it. Okay. Then the next one I have here is the Bright Skies bundle. And all these little plastic bags are adult proof. So just a really simple, sweet card. I love that she embossed the different clouds with different embossing folders. So hopefully you can see that. Liz Schultz made this, or Lisa Schultz. And it's some little gems. It's really pretty. Okay, and then the next one is the Cutest Cow bundle. And it's got the Cutest Cows Builder Punch with the cutest cows. Isn't that sweet? Cute. I love this little gingham rib, the DSP. It's really, really cute. Not sure where the DSP is from, but I think it may be one of our assorted in colors or new assorted DSP. So they come in 6x6. And this was made by Terry Gaines. So cute. She was the one that helped start that Stamp and Share by for Leaders, and I think she did a fabulous job. So, okay, so this one I believe, along with Lovely Lavender, was the most popular of all the ones that I got. I've got a bunch of these. So this is the Poetic Expression Suite, and it's got this really beautiful Thoughtful Expressions bundle. And I'm going to have these dies. They're just so pretty. The label dies are so pretty. But even this one is made by Kelly Burkhardt. Really beautiful. She embossed vellum here and little DSP. Did some coloring. She made 43 of these. That's a lot of work, I tell you. Well, one over the top person to another. I tend to be the same way. I just love doing that. Okay, so this one is made by Susan Campfield. Very talented Stampin' Demonstrator. I'm just so thrilled that I'm close to these ladies, because that means I get to be part of all their creativity. So this is You're in My Thoughts. Beautiful details. I mean, aren't those flowers gorgeous? So that's why I'm super excited about getting these labels, because it has these little detail dies. I don't have to have stamps. I can actually use my own stamps. So it's really, really beautiful. So just a gorgeous card. I love the clean look. I've always loved using white cardstock. So it's just gorgeous. All right, this one is Carol Baumgardner. And another beautiful one. She did gold embossing and then colored, hand colored. That's a lot of work. use some of the distressed gold, but just look how those, this is actually die cut on the outside and the inside for this really beautiful framed look. And then the Lost Lagoon pool party. I think this is probably the bubble bath pink. So it's so pretty. Okay. This one doesn't have a name on it, but sometimes there's no words. It's really pretty. Somebody gave me a little bit of their kitty or human hair glued in their card. Anyway, a lot of coloring, just beautiful. Okay. And then this one looks like it's a fun fold. And it looks like it's Deb Ives. And she used 2 colors of ink by using either daubers or her Stampin' Write markers to get the color she wanted on the stamp before she stamped it down. And she did the same thing with the flower. So she looks like she used Lovely Lavender, and this looks like Tahitian Tide. And then I'm not sure which green she used, but isn't that pretty? And then she used the labels to create this really beautiful fun fold. So great cards. All right, so this one was done by Carmen McNamara, and this is a beautiful fun fold. Sometimes there are no words. You're in my thoughts today. So just a really beautiful sympathy card. Embossing, stamping. You know, it's just, you can stamp something with one color. You don't have to color it. And I think this is just a really beautiful, simple card, but with detail that makes it look like it's over the top. So there's definitely some die cutting here, but just beautiful. Okay, so that's all the rest of the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. This one is Quiet Reflection. There's lots of sympathy cards. So this is made by Michelle Lynch. And again, she used either sponge daubers or maybe the brayer or Stampin' Write markers to get the 2 different colors, so that you just stamp it once and you get the beautiful colors that you want. So it's just gorgeous. I love that. The reflection on the lake. Very, very beautiful. So you can see why I was so excited about this. Okay, now the last one. I think these are the last. There may be one more, but I couldn't figure out where it went. Okay. This is part of the Inspirational Sketches stamp set. There isn't a die set that goes with it. This was made by Amanda Van Hevermeet. I'm probably slaughtering these words. So this is beautiful designer series paper that she sponge daubed a little color distress on it. Enjoy the journey. It's really pretty. Ribbon. This is embossed up here. So hopefully you can see that. And then another one using, this was made by Kathleen Chapman. She used all kinds of embellishments, a little bit of everything. Grateful for you. Great masculine card. I'm always struggling with that, so it's always nice to see examples. You can see the background's embossed, or maybe, I'm not sure if you can see it. And then these are more of those dies, label dies. Makes a great background. I love how it nests together. So that's it for the cards. So really wonderful collection. Like I said, I'll take pictures of it and get it out to you. Okay, so Excellent Eggs is my upcoming class here in February, and so we're a little ahead of spring, but I wanted to give you plenty of time to be creative. So this has got some really pretty fonts, cute little, bunny. It's either can be a chocolate bunny or it can be just a little bunny that you color. These eggs are so cute, but the dies are super. This die has 2 different little, I haven't used this yet because I had to really be careful with my right arm trying to die cut stuff, but I'm thinking I'm starting to feel better. But they make some really great cards, and Let me just show you. Sorry, it takes me a minute to find it. So if you can see this, all of these little pieces make for these little shapes that you can see in the catalog. This is page 27. So anyway, I'm excited about it. So it'll be fun. We'll make 3 cards and a project, or I'll make 2 cards and 2 projects. So I haven't decided yet. And we're using the Lighter Than Air Designer Series paper. And as you can tell from this really amazing paper that it's just perfect for spring. I mean, that looks like the best set of eggs you've ever seen. I mean, it's just adorable. So I can't wait to see what it does. All this beautiful paper will make great Easter eggs. And then we're using the rainbow adhesive back dots. So really pretty colors, great little Easter. And then we're going to be using the baker's twine. Are these really pretty colors? So definitely feels yummy for spring, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, now the best part. So I've told you a little bit about this add-on, the Love of Spring Dies. Stampin' Up! Is going to issue a set of dies each quarter for the next 3 months of Paper Pumpkin. And this is the one that they started selling in December for the January, February, and March kits. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use some of these. So let's take a look at the kit. And this is how your kit comes, just as a reminder. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining me this morning. Okay, these are really beautiful little stamps. They say, just for a little something for you, love, happy Valentine's Day, and with. So the with is just great. It works with the love. And as you can tell, this love stamp, hopefully you can see it, it exactly matches the love die. So I cut this out earlier, and you can see that it just exactly matches it. So later on, if you want a specific color, you can stamp it and then die cut it. And these work perfectly with the little mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So you don't have to have a big one. The little dies work perfectly with that. And then you've got this great sprig that goes with it. So I'm going to need a couple of blocks. Okay. And this is what your blocks look like when you get your paper pumpkin. All right, you get the gorgeous, great stamp pad. And I'll worry about that in a minute. I've seen some alternates, and there are just so much you can do with this. You have just some regular designer series paper, or even just some regular cardstock white or another color. You can make some great alternates. So we'll kind of go over that a little bit. All right. Sorry, I'm having a hard time going through and cutting this up. I may need to sharpen my scissors. Okay. So this makes 8 cards, and it looks like an additional 4 tags. So this is where it's really fun to make alternates. Stampin' Up! Always gives you a few alternates that you can look at where they use the tags in a different way, and they used and coordinated it with the perennial lavender suite collection. So you saw my class, and I've shown you some cards of the coordination between the two. So really lots of beautiful things. Okay, so these always come all inclusive, so everything that you will need is here for you to do the kit. But if you're wanting to make alternates, you'll need obviously glue, maybe some more cardstock. But here's the envelopes, really beautiful. And they've got two different kinds. They've got a cute little crumb cake polka dot, which I love. And they've got this beautiful, looks like a watercolor or a wash of lovely lavender, blue, blackberry bliss. So, okay. So here's some labels. Let me sort out these cards. Now I typically make one each of each one of the cards, and then I make one each of, I'll make alternates later after I do that, but I'm going to do a couple of alternates today just to show you all the variety. Okay, so this one goes with this card, and these. And then these are all your labels. So you can see there's just all kinds of, and they give you 4 or more of each one. So this one, actually, they gave 6 of this type, 6 of this, and 4 of these little ones. So lots of potential. Okay, so these sprigs, just popping these all out at the same time. Okay, they go with this one. And then the bigger one goes with the crumb cake, and then this one goes with the tag. I love that they're doing tags as well, because when you're making really beautiful gift bags and stuff, it just would be nice to have some tags to go with it as well. Okay, so now you don't have to throw these away. You can also use these as a template to create more with blender brushes, just as a background. Okay, so the love goes with this card. And these match perfectly with the stamp and the die. So beautiful. And then we've got all these different sprigs. Okay, so I believe these 4 and these 4 go with this card. These are connected together. So that'll go with that card. Okay, lots of little gentle or fragile pieces, so I'm trying not to tear anything. Okay. This might be a good one to make as a template, but you'd have to get rid of the, you'd have to cover up the other, but you could create that. Okay, so this gets popped out and it makes the 4 tags, and then this goes with this one. And then of course we have the linen as well, linen twine. Okay, glue dots, stamps. All right, let's open up this gorgeous Grape stamping spot. You'll have quite a collection if you've been doing paper pumpkin for any time. Okay. So looks like we're going to make the tag first. All right, so we're going to need 12 inches. All right, and we'll take one of the tags. It's got a little hole punched already, so you just have to take this off. And then it's got this little sprig, and then it's got this tag here. So I do want to show you how pretty the alternates here are. So this I die cut in black paper, and I added adhesive before I die cut it out. So when you're working with it, let me just show you what it looks like before I cut it. So I just added the adhesive cardstock, or the adhesive paper, adhesive sheets, sorry. So I just added a little strip of them on the back of my cardstock, and then I die cut it out so that all I have to do is peel off that sticker, and I've got it easy to adhere. I don't have to worry about gluing tiny little pieces. So it's always a good idea when you've got something little to die cut like this that you use, oh, it doesn't want to come out yet until I take the sticky off. So I don't want to do that. So what I wanted to show was this is the label for the, or the die for the love. This is the label, and it's got this really pretty little punched detail around the edge. And then this is the little sprig, and just look at the detail on that. Isn't that pretty? This is done in Lagoon. So we'll use some of these here in just a minute, but that gives you an idea of what it looks like. So we're going to use this one right here, and we're supposed to use just a little something for you. What a great sentiment. Oh my goodness. That's a favorite. Okay, and just as a reminder, I always rub with my thumb across it because there just seems to be some sort of a finish on these that make it really hard for the ink to not, I mean, it just kind of doesn't do a complete image. It kind of like a, I'm trying to think of the term, but obviously my morning brain is not as functional as it should be. Okay, so we're just going to do one of these because I want the ability to change it around a little bit. Okay, so this is just super, super simple. We're going to use a couple of dimensionals on the back of this sentiment. And we're going to use a couple of the glue dots on the back of the sprig. Just enough to kind of hold it in place. If you're having trouble with your fingers, you can use your scissors, or you can use, this is the Peacock tool, And sometimes when I've just trimmed my fingernails down, they're not as sharp as they typically are after I've used them for a little while. Okay, so this just gets placed here a little bit over. So just to kind of give it a little bit of a 3D feel to it. And then and again, I'm just placing the tag a little bit over the edge. And then I'm going to thread my tag by folding it in half, pushing it through the front, inserting, and there we go. Cute little tag that can go on any gift. So one of the fun things I'm going to show you here in a little bit is I made this box from the designer series paper, and I'll show you how to make it just real briefly. It's going to be real brief, but it's just 1/2 of a 12 by 12 piece of DSP. And so it's not 2 separate pieces, but it's one, and it just makes a cute little box. And with a little ribbon, wouldn't that be pretty? So we'll show you more about that here in a minute. Okay, so now that's the first one. Now we're going to do the second project, and that is this card. Now the thing about this cardstock is I love that they're putting it on both, and because this is so adorable, I'm going to be really tempted to cut it in half when I do some of my alternates, because I can actually make it then into 2 cards, or you can cut it into 4ths, or you can die cut it, whatever you want to do. But there's lots of chance for more beautiful things just by cutting that paper in half. And I'll show you the next card, the same thing. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so for this, we're going to use Happy Valentine's Day. And we're going to be using the long label. Normally, if I have the full-size stamp pad, I don't have to turn it upside down and do it this way, but either way, whatever works for you. So sweet. Okay, so I need a couple of dimensionals on the back of this, and then I need 1 glue dot in the middle. I need 12 inches of the linen thread. And then what I'm supposed to do, other than adhering cat hair, is in preparation, I'm just going to make it look like a bow. And rather than tie a bow, I'll just run it back and forth on the glue dot, so that when it's on the card, it just has this really pretty, that probably doesn't show up that well there, but you can see that it's going to be just a pretty little addition to the card. Okay, so now I need to add a bunch of dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to stagger these. Okay, I guess I was supposed to do something. I was supposed to put these together. So I want these little squares right here to line up with one another. So I need a couple of glue dots on this. And then I'm going to line up this over the top of it. And then I'm going to put 2 more glue dots on the front of this. So this is, I'm always caught up because I'm looking at it and not necessarily paying attention to the instructions. And then I need to place just under, so it kind of goes behind and in front of. So let's put it through, and then it gets adhered to. Okay, and then I can put my dimensionals, and then I actually need another one that holds on to some of these. Okay, and I think I'm going to put another one up here just to kind of hold things in place. Okay, now I can take off the dimensionals. Pay attention, Angela. One of my street friends from California, she was watching me putting together a paper pumpkin kit, and I was putting it together wrong, and she was screaming at me through the Facebook Live. But of course I couldn't hear her. She was like, don't do it, don't do it. And I did it. I did it wrong. But anyway, okay. So here we go. So then we're just putting it on this card front. So pretty. Isn't that cute? All right, so now we need to get the sentiment on. And then spread this out. Okay, so it allows this to be 3D a little bit. So if you are uncomfortable with that, you can add maybe another glue dot or something, but just beautiful. Isn't that pretty? And it has a little gold foil stripe, so it really doesn't need any embellishments, but you know, they have those really beautiful gems that go with the suite that you can add more if you want. But just beautiful little card. Okay. And then it goes with this sweet little crumb cake polka dot as well. So makes for a great little Valentine's card. All right. So that's that project. Now for the last one. Okay, so we're going to need to stamp the sprig this time. I'm just going to use the back of this. We're going to go a little over my typical 30 minutes, so thank you for your patience and for hanging on. Good morning, Judy. Did you hear me talking about you? And your funny little, don't do it, Angela. Yeah, anyway, when I was putting together paper pumpkin wrong. Okay, so I believe this is the front. This is the back. Again, it just lends itself to let's cut it in half and use both of them because the papers are so beautiful and you don't necessarily have to have it made just like this. Like this typically is too busy for me. I'm going to go ahead and just make the paper pumpkin like it is. But I would probably cut this piece down so that it was smaller and was just used as a little bit of like an embellishment or just a little tiny bit of focus. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the label with, or the little sentiment with, and we're going to also, and I'm using one of the little mini blocks. So this is the A size block, in case you're wondering. And there's some little tiny labels down here that are already pre-cut. And then I'll pull that out. And then we've got this little sprig. Okay, so the sprig is supposed to be stamped as so. So I push down for just a second, and I typically don't rock back and forth, and I do that for a purpose. Okay, so this gets dimensionals on the back of it. And then let's put that aside. This one, I have two different sizes of lavender sprig. I just miss my backyard so much. But spring here will bring me all kinds of little surprises, so I'm going to look forward to those, and I'll take pictures and share with you guys what ends up coming up. So far, nothing has. I was hoping that there were snowdrops out there somewhere, but I haven't seen anything show up in my yard yet. But I'm excited to see what, I know that I have peony, so I'm super excited about that. I haven't had peony since I lived in Washington State, and I lived there for 12 years, and the peony were just glorious. Oh my goodness, it was so lovely. Okay, so this is going to need a couple of glue dots as well. Set that aside. Okay, so now we can start layering. So we're using this square white label. And again, this has that really pretty purple foil around the edge. So when you have something like that, you don't really need embellishments, because I think the foils are the embellishment. Just really lovely. I mean, those of us that really love to bling it up, sometimes we have to. But okay. So now I'm going to put the sprig down first. And I'm just going to put it off to the side. And then the larger lavender. Whoops, I need to be careful not to go over the top of the card so that it fits inside of an envelope. And then this one just goes off to the side a little bit. Okay, so now we have this, which matches the back of the paper. And I need dimensionals for this. So this is the first time I've stamped since I injured my arm again. And what it does is it just starts aching. And the ache kind of just stays with me for a while. But I can't let it stop me. It's too depressing to even think about. So, all right. I should have put down the little bow first. So I messed up with that. Okay. So I need another 12 inches. So let me just lift this one corner very gently. Put down a glue dot. And then lay my ribbon, make my fake bow. So you don't always have to tie bows. Sometimes you just fake it. There we go. Now we put the love down. And so this takes a little small dimensional, and I've shown you this before, so I typically will just cut these because I use every bit of dimensional that I have on my project, so that by the time I'm done with a sheet, it's empty and all the edges have been clipped away. So, okay, so this goes right here. A little bit of an overlap, but there you go. Isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. And then it gets one of these little envelopes with the beautiful paper that matches the back of the card. But definitely this one needs to be cut in pieces because I think there's just so much that can be done. Okay, so now we're going to work on the alternates. So this little box, I just wanted to show you. I used a half of the DSP, and it ends up having just this beautiful surprise on the inside. So had I thought about it a little bit ahead of time, I probably should have cut the paper this way. And that way, when I opened it up, this showed up on the inside, but it's still just really a beautiful, beautiful box. So I think I'll make this one the bottom and this one will be the top. So what I did is I just used one full half sheet, and it makes a box that is 4.5 by 4 inches. So just enough room for some chocolate, maybe a gift card, maybe small lotions, you know, small, there's just a number of things in it. So it's just a really pretty, nice size of a gift box. So I scored it at 1 inch around all 4 sides. And then I went, so the 1 inch, and then I went over 4.5 inches, and then, sorry, that's not true. So I went 1 inch, and then 5.5 inches, and 6.5 inches, and then at 11 inches. So let me go over that again. So I scored it at 1 inch this way, 5.5 inches, 6.5 inches, and at 11 inches. And then, or you could just do 1 inch all the way around and then do it at 5.5 and 6.5 in the middle. And that makes it so that super easy measurements. I like 1 inch each, nothing complicated. And then you can, once you have all those score marks, then I snipped at both ends. Don't you want me to make this real quick with you? Let me just do that. And I'm just going to use my cutter. Okay, so I'm going to score on this side. Okay. So I'll make it so that it's easy. I saw this from Stampin' Up. They had some alternates, and I noticed that they used this really beautiful paper. And I love this craft gingham. So, okay. So like I said, it was at, I'm trying not to use the cutter, 1 inch. I need to use this. So let's start this end. So I'm scoring at 1 inch, at 5.5, and then at 6.5. And then at 1 inch again. So I already did that score. Okay. So now let's use our bone folder, and let's fold it over. There's nothing like a super easy gift box And this kit has a tag in it and everything, which just makes for a wonderful, easy gift. Okay, so hopefully you can see all the scores, marks. Okay, so at the end, I want it to be nice and clean, so I'm going to cut straight up and straight up, and then I'll do a little angle nip on the outside edge. Okay, and then here, I'm going to go straight up and straight up, and for some reason, this is not looking like it's the same. Looks like it's not quite an inch. Well, this will be my practice here, because I think that in the middle it kind of gets a little messed up. So let me take a look at this. This will be on the inside. So I need this to be at 5.5 inches. That's why I typically will use my board rather than my cutter. Worked for the first one, but not for the second one. Okay. Okay. Good thing I didn't cut that. All right. So in the middle, I'm cutting again straight, and then that little flap gets angled just a little bit. Again, at the end, I'm going to cut straight and then a little angle. So they pretty much will be put together exactly the same. And then this side again. Just cut up to the score mark. And then what we're going to do is fold these flaps back and then glue. And this will be the lid. And then I'll make this the bottom this time. So I should have thought of that the first time. Okay. So just a little bit of glue in each of these spots. And then I make sure to line up my corners so that nothing sticks up. So it's a nice smooth edge there. And then for this one, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'll lay these back. And then make sure my edges go together nicely. Now this is going to go over the top. So now I can put together this portion, and I want it to be just a smidge bigger. So I'll put a little glue on both of these little flaps, hold it together, and then press down. Okay? And then when you open the box up, oops, that one didn't hold just yet. So you have to hold it for just a second. And I think I want to use, we're going to do it just like Stampin' Up! Did, because I thought it was just so clever. All this reaching hurts, but okay. So this is, I think it's pecan pie. I don't remember the name of the ribbon, but I can tell when I've got too much glue on my scissors because it doesn't like to cut as well. Okay, so what she did is she just squeezed it together and made it like a belly band to hold the sweet little box together. And you can do it either way. You can do it this way. And then it just kind of leaves it as a cute little flag. So we just need a little bit of this cord, or the lemon thread. Okay, you've got all this beautiful sprigs, and you've got this gorgeous tag that you've already made. So you can use that, or you can use the label that I made and this sweet little love, and add that. But there's so much that you can just pull from the kits to make alternatives. You know, you can take one of the little sprigs from one of the kits. And then one of the things that I really like about this die and using the adhesive is I can stack them on top of each other and make it a little bit more 3D. So this love isn't just one layer, but it can be multiple layers over the top of each other. So when you're lining it up, before you press down, and it just makes it a little bit thicker and gives it a 3D. So let's stamp the word with on here. And let's take the backing off. And if you want, you can just take a portion of it off. And then we can use some glue dots to adhere these together. And then a couple more glue dots. And then we'll add some dimensionals on the back of this label. And then if you want, you can just add it onto the ribbon so that it's a belly band and it can be slid in and off, or you can put it down below. You can still slide. Let's take this ribbon so that it's not stuck to it. But you could still slide this on and off and then add items to it. So this is just one alternative you can do. There's so much variety. I really appreciate you joining me this morning. I've taken up all of your time here. This is an hour. This is my longest Facebook Live, but hopefully you enjoyed all the beautiful cards that we made today. There's just so much to do. Don't be afraid to take a look at Pinterest or take a look at Stampin' Up's page. They have a great video that shows some of their alternatives some of the artisans had put together. So, all right. Again, I'm Angela with Wild Violets Art. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please click subscribe and share with your friends. And thank you, Judy, for joining me. Linda, I loved having my friends joining me. And for those of you that are watching later, thank you also. Have a great Friday.